Greetings everyone. In continuing with the information on this poster, if we move to the section that outlines ancestor prayer goods, you'll observe that there are many different types of joss paper. Like traditional ancestor money, gold and silver bars made with joss paper, tea leaves, reincarnation paper, and there's a special one to use when asking the ancestors for blessings and help. And this is a bit of a double-edged sword in my opinion, because in the eyes of the ancestors, if you are corrupt, you are wasteful, you're a drunkard, a womanizer, you only create problems, you only keep producing tons of bad karma, then don't expect the ancestors to waste their time and their resources to help you, because you are not willing to change. Sadly, there are just too many people, both rich and poor, who prefer to just die instead of change some of their stubborn ways. And most of them are just stuck mentally, and they could never accept and acknowledge when they are wrong, and they never take responsibility for the disasters, the losses, and the suffering that they create. And as a result, they will never change. And these people, they do not realize that they're only blocking themselves from improving their own life and finding some happiness and wealth. So in my opinion, and based on my experience, the amount of help that you are allowed to receive from your ancestors is governed by the kind of karma that you carry and the way that you live. Sometimes only traumatic life and death situation can cause a person to change. Or if they are fortunate to get what I would call an energetic spiritual impartation from someone who cultivates certain types of mantras and sutras, then something like that could help you to release certain types of limiting thought forms, and it can stimulate change in a person. Lastly, the other thing that could stimulate change in a person is an ego debt. An ego debt will help you to release those limiting things that you are holding on to. Now, in 2017, I was fortunate to receive an ego debt type of impartation from a psychic in Canada, and I can tell you it was not fun. The session lasted about an hour and a half, but the full cycle of the ego death started the next day and lasted for around 2 weeks. It was horrible. I felt like giving up and just dying. I felt like an old lady in her 90s going through menopause, and during that time, the few people who I spoke to, they would all laugh at me, because he would swear I was just going to die at any minute. It was really bad. So everything I used to believe in, it had collapsed in on me. And in that vacuum of that mental implosion, I was able to realize that the root causes for most of my suffering was based on certain limiting beliefs that influenced my behavior, which produced certain habits and actions that did not benefit me or anyone else. And part of the process of an ego death also included me in accepting where I went wrong and fixing the problems that I created. And I was able to rebuild my entire way of thinking and manifest a new life. And one of the other benefits of an ego death is I used to do a lot of research. I used to do a lot of in-depth studies. And there was a point in time I just felt I couldn't hold anything more. I couldn't retain anything more. And what I noticed, after you clear all this mess out, you're actually able to retain more. You can absorb more knowledge because you've let go of things. So anyway, I said all that to say this. Imagine how many hundreds of thousands or millions of your ancestors who died with misguided, limiting beliefs. This is why, in my opinion, when you practice sutras and dedicate the merits from these sutras to your ancestors, it is like sending an energetic impartation to them. And the more liberation type mantras and sutras that you cultivate, the stronger the energy that you're able to send to your ancestors. And with consistent practice, it will not just help them to dissolve their karmas, but it will also help them to change their limiting beliefs. So when they eventually take rebirth, their actions will create less bad karma during their next lifetime. So with these simple practices, you can be the one who is responsible to help uplift your lineage of ancestors and your future descendants. So there will be some people who will think that your ancestors cannot change in the afterlife. And my question to you is, where do you think the millions of souls that make up demonic legions come from? A portion of these souls come from everyday people like me and you. We make mistakes in life, or someone does black magic to us. The demons may conquer us, and sometimes they take our soul and our treasures as payment. And now you are forced to serve in a demonic legion of demons. Even the witch doctor and the people who hire the occultists to do witchcraft onto innocent people, both parties, 99% of the time, they become part of these demonic legions for thousands of years. And in the Western world, when people cast a demon out from someone, they are conditioned to believe that demon is going to be destroyed, or they're going to be punished for all eternity in hellfire with brimstone. But in Buddhism, after they defeat the demons, they give the demon a choice to uphold the 5 precepts and swear to protect and help mankind. And if they refuse to change, they will be either totally destroyed in very rare cases, but most of the time they are given rebirth. And the life they are given will be governed by their good merits, whatever little there is, and their negative karma. That would be used as fuel for their reformation in that particular lifetime. And then the journey, like with all of us, it continues with them rebirth, going up until they can eventually get liberation. In heaven and liberation, it's 2 different things. Heaven is a temporary place. You will come back from there. Liberation is no coming back. So do not think that your prayers cannot help or evoke some sort of a change in your ancestors. So in getting back to the poster, the different types of joss paper should be viewed as tools to help yourself and your ancestors. The artist who created this poster, Miss Salty Thunder, she told me in an interview that she was advised to just keep consistently using the different types of joss paper, and over time you will eventually develop a relationship with the energy that these different joss papers represent, and you will get the results that you desire. Now the Chinese, they would also purchase things like houses and cars and stuff like that. And in the Western world, people will think this is just silly. But in reality, when they send these types of gifts to their ancestors, this is part of the healing process for them, so that they could help mourn and heal from the loss of their loved one. So that's all for today. The link for this poster and contact for Bankahaya Trading is in the video. So until next time, Gong Shifashai.